Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another This Is Us review, y'all. Okay, so this episode starts off with us finding out the origin of the cabin. Okay, we've been seeing snippets of the cabin throughout the season, and I think even in previous seasons, but definitely in this past season, because there's this huge big cabin and we were trying to place that cabin, and now we figured out where that cabin came from. And then there's the smaller cabin that we've been seeing like throughout, the episodes. So yeah, we got our cabin origin story. And Jack and Rebecca purchased the cabin in the woods for them to take the kids up to, have a little summer home, middle America. Okay, ripping the fields. If you don't know anything about that Pauly Shore reference, don't worry about me. Okay, so they decided, in order to get the kids who are like 12, so completely annoying, excited about this whole cabin situation, they decide they're going to do a time capsule. Jack and Rebecca try to get the kids to go and find something that they can put in a time capsule, and in 5 years they'll come back to the cabin and they'll open it. They'll be teenagers. They'll be like 18. I think that was the whole idea. Of course, we know it didn't happen that way, seeing as though Jack died and all of this. But hey, right now, we're putting stuff in the capsule. Of course, everybody is going about this with their respective isms, okay? Randall is obsessing. He doesn't know what the perfect thing to put inside the capsule would be. And then Kevin, is like, man, just calm down and put anything in there. Lord, like, why are you flipping out? Kevin wants him to calm down. All Kevin wants to do is talk to, see, be around Sophie right now, okay? He's in that age range. Sophie is his world currently. So that's all he's really worrying about. While the kids are working on that, Jack is outside drawing up a sketch of a dream home that he would like to build on the property. And Rebecca comes out and she's like, that looks great. And if you say you're going to build this dream house, then I believe you're going to build this dream house. At the moment, we didn't really know the significance, but we kind of started to put two and two together that this must be the place that Kevin eventually built for the family, okay? Warms my heart, okay? Warms all up in my heart area. Obviously, something that his father never got an opportunity to do. He figured out a way to do it eventually. And I just, so much in that. Like, that's what this whole generational thing is. Like, being able to do the things that the people before you couldn't do or couldn't accomplish, and picking that up and taking that on into the next generation. I think that's an amazing thing to put in the show. And the house is magnificent. So, like, for me, I love me a good cabin chore, okay, with a lot of good windows. Bring nature in, okay? And that's what Jack wanted to do. And we know they accomplished that because we've seen that house before. I hope we get an old nasty daytime scene where you can see all of the light and all of that coming into the cabin. But we'll wait and see. But hey, This Is Us writers. Y'all the one that made the cabin basically a character, okay? Y'all made the cabins a character. Now I want to see what the rest of the cabin is supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we keep seeing entryway and Rebecca's hospital bed. I want to see the rest. What's the backyard look like? You know what I mean? Is it just me? Never mind. Too much HGTV in my life. Kate's abusive boyfriend, Mark, okay, had left her out on the side of the road in the freezing cold, in the snow, on their way up to the family cabin. She called Rebecca, but she acted as if everything was okay. But Rebecca felt something in her spirit that something was not right. So she got her other two children and they traveled up the mountain to the cabin to see what was going on with Kate. So Mark apologizes to Kate for leaving her on the side of the road, I'm sure. Rebecca and the boys are on their way to her up the mountain. There's a lot of snow and there ends up being a tree down. So they end up having to detour and find somewhere to stay overnight until they can get back up to the cabin in the morning once the tree has been removed, all right? Kate is making she and Mark some coffee. All right, we're going to snuggle up. We're going to get all cozy in the cabin now that our abusive boyfriend has had his abusive episode for the evening. We're thinking we're done with these types of, situations for the night. Okay, but oh no. Mark actually picks up Jack's cup and it has, greatest dad on it. Now, I personally don't understand why he didn't pick another mug just off rip. Like, obviously, Kate is still dealing with the fact that her father just passed away. Everybody in this family is dealing with that. Why would you pick that mug? And she asked him, she was like, you don't mind picking another mug, please? Nobody's ever used that mug but my dad. And he's like playing around with it, like, like I'm gonna drop it, And, she was like, why you gotta be an asshole about it? Just put the damn mug back. And he's like, oh, you need to calm down. You just chill out, okay? It's just a mug. He turns around, and then she hears the break because he dropped the mug. If you ask me, he dropped it on purpose. How you gonna wait until you turn around and then you drop it? No, you did that shit on purpose because you one of them crazy ass dudes that don't like the fact that there's somebody in your girl's life who she cares about more than you. That's just how this goes when you get with a teenager who has a dead parent. Like, I don't understand what's going on with Mark. But this was just so crass and so callous of him to do that and play with that, knowing how she feels about it. She gets so upset. She starts going in on him. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just put it down like I asked you to? And he says, whoa, you really need to chill out. You need to calm down. Like, you've just done something so reprehensible. I know it's a mug, but it's just the fact that he knows how sensitive she is about it, and he still decided to play with it as if her feelings didn't matter. I don't like that, okay? I didn't like that at all. So once he tells her to calm down again, she says, great, I'll take life advice from an unemployed record store clerk. I don't know why she said that. Y'all know he insecure as I don't know what. So he felt some type of way. And when she goes outside to get wood, I was like, why do you keep forgetting that he likes to lock you outside and drive off, and leave you outside in the cold? That's what he likes to do. I would have sent his ass outside to get that wood, okay? You done broke my daddy mug. Go get some damn wood so we don't freeze to death in here tonight. Get out of my face, you know what I'm saying? But Kate is insecure and happy to have some little raggedy ass boy like her, so she just walks herself outside of the cabin to get wood, come back, and he done locked her outside. And it is snowing, okay? It is pouring down, and she's beating on the door, and he's not opening the door. And we don't really get to see what happens next, because the next thing we see is Rebecca and the boys showing up to the cabin, and her telling them, look, we didn't come here to embarrass your sister. We just came here to make sure she's all right. So, don't go in there acting a fool, Kevin. Okay, so they knock on the door. Kate answers the door. Hi, we're just about to have pancakes. Won't you guys come in? Everything's great, right? Okay. We're like, hold the hell up. Last time we checked, your little raggedy ass boyfriend knocked you out of your family's cabin as if it was his family's cabin or something, just a couth. You know what I'm saying? The entitlement to lock her out of her shit. Amazing to me. Either way, they're sitting down for the pancakes, and Randall notices that it's quite cold in here. What's going on? Randall, he's Mr. Fix-It. So he sees that the window is got a little draft going on. He goes over there, pulls back the curtain, and sees that the window is broken. They cleaned up the glass that was on the floor, but didn't clean up the blood that was on the window. Didn't do anything to cover the hole, nothing. And also seemingly didn't light a fire. So they in there freezing their ass off. And nobody, we ain't notice it. Okay, we just gonna freeze to death in here tonight. Randall, Rebecca, and Kevin want to know what the hell happened here last night, all right? Kate comes up with a lie and says they both got locked out of the cabin. It was just a mistake. She had to break the window for them to get back inside. Kevin says, I don't believe that. Mark, what happened here last night? Mark, stupid ass, instead of going with the story that Kate was giving, tells the truth. Says that she pissed him off for a minute, so he locked her out for just a second, and right before he was about to let her back in, she went crazy and bust the window to get herself back in. I said, she went crazy? You got pissed? Excuse me? This all sounds like whoop your ass words to me, okay? And that's how Kevin and Randall felt. They wanted to put pause on Mark's bum ass, but Rebecca calmed them down. Rebecca said, let me tell you something. Get your shit. Get the hell up out of my house, okay? Get the hell up out of my house. Don't ever come back. This is the last time you saw my daughter. Do you understand me? And he just stand there and look for a minute. And I'm like, somebody like Kevin and Randall, get to him. He not moving fast enough for me. He wasn't moving fast enough for me, okay? And he eventually just goes ahead and leave. And Kate's like, I thought he loved me, Mom. And she's like, I know, Bug. I know. Just another testament to Kate being able to treat her mom like trash and her mom still being there for her. I swear, it's a travesty when you look at the many, many times that Kate has rebuffed her mother, and her mother has always had her back and been there for her no matter what. It's just sad to me, you know, like that's her mom, that's what she's supposed to do. But when you see somebody who's been there, like she doesn't deserve that from Kate, you know, but Kate's own jealousy, Lord. But her mama came and saved the day either way. So present time, the big three, adult big three, you know, everybody's going through things in their life. Randall is still dealing with the break-in. Okay, he has some PTSD going on with him and he's trying to glaze over it like it's not happening. Kate is obsessing about Toby and baby Jack's relationship. Kevin is obsessing about having absolutely nothing to do with his life currently, and how, you know, Sophie is about to get married and how he just slept with Madison and that's weird. You know, everybody has a lot going on right now. Beth is taking the girls up to DC to spend some time with her mom while Randall goes to the cabin. And of course, he's freaking out. He wants to make sure that they can see the security cameras. And I'm like, Randall, I know that, you know, you have this trauma because of what happened, but ultimately your wife and children are in DC. Calm down. They're not at the house. You don't need to see the cameras every second of every day, you know, while you're gone, if the kids and the wife aren't even there. Like, that's just how I felt. Like, they're not even gonna be there. Why are you stressing? I'm sure y'all got good insurance. Look at y'all. Kevin wakes Madison up to tell her that he's about to go, and also asks that they keep their little tryst between the two of them. And Madison says sure, because it does seem as if she's broken girl code with Kate. I said, yeah, right. Madison's crazy as hell. She said that she wasn't gonna say anything. Let's wait on that. Kate is trying to leave. She's packing up. She's trying to make sure that Toby has everything he needs for baby Jack while she's gone. She's questioning if she can trust this man with her baby. Okay, it's her husband, it's the father, but hey, I don't know. Can I trust you with my baby, man? Okay, you know, just a little worried. But he says, I got this. Just go. We're good. I got it. And she's like, all right, fine. And she leaves apprehensively. Absolutely. Like, just... my baby better not be dead when I get back. Like, oh. Everyone gets to the cabin and Randall starts putting together this family photo puzzle that Jack got made for them one year, you know, up there at the cabin. The goal is to recharge by getting together with the big three. All right, y'all know when they come together, they get something from one another. I know what this is like. Whenever me and all my family are together, I definitely feel elevated. I don't know how to explain that. But whenever my cousins and my aunts, my uncles, my mom, like whenever my sister, my niece, my, you know, my nephew, whenever we're all together, I definitely, I don't know, I get happy. I really, really do. So I guess I understand them feeling the need to be together in order to try to cope with everything that's been going on. But the power goes out, okay? Right when Kevin is about to pick Free Willy to put into the VHS, because the 90s had a fascination with white boys who made friends with exotic animals, the power goes out. Everybody's realizing that they can no longer use Wi-Fi. They don't have a good signal. That means that Kate can't check on Toby and baby Jack 5 million times. It means that Randall can't check on his security cameras 5 million times. So he says, you know what? Let's go down to the grocery store. Let's use the Wi-Fi at the grocery store, get some supplies, and, you know, we'll come back up here and hunker down. Kevin is like, man, nah, why don't we just chill? Like, you know, just kind of be away from all of that. And Randall was like, no, Kev, I need to check my security cameras, okay? Like, it was serious. And everybody was like, okay, all right. We just gonna go to the grocery store so Randall can check the security cameras. Okay, Lord have mercy. So they get to the grocery store. Kate is talking to Toby, checking in with him. And she's like, are you having fun yet? And he's like, can you give me a chance? Like, you just left a few hours ago. God damn. And she's like, you're right. Like, just obsessing. They all obsess in one way or another. And that's because, like somebody said, their family, you know, Rebecca and Jack created some type of Disney movie life for them. And now it's so hard for them to deal with when they don't get their way or when things don't work out the way they want them to, because their parents really created like this whole fairy tale situation for them when they were growing up. And it's like, yeah, but that ended when they were teenagers. It's like 15 years ago. How many life lessons do you need before you stop overreacting to everything? Big three? I don't know. Some things do require overreaction, or you can understand, you know, but I just kind of feel like all in all three of them obsess in ways that their significant others who have been brought into the picture do not. i.e. Toby, Beth, Miguel, those people. Randall calls Beth and leaves a message, but she's not answering the phone. So he's like, you guys, I might have to go back to the city. I might have to go back home. And they're like, why? He's like, oh, well, Beth isn't answering the phone and I can't see the security cameras. And Kevin is like, but isn't Beth in DC with her mom? Like, it's only been a few hours, Randall. Like, oh my God. And then Randall gets a text message from Beth and he's like, oh, false alarm. She texts, they were in the movies. And it's like, dude, you are flipping out. Like, don't make any sudden movements around Randall. Kate gets a message from Madison. I don't know why she needed to play it over speakerphone, but okay. Madison spills all the tea and says that she's so sorry that she slept with Kevin and she's her friend and she loves her and she's so sorry. And Kate is looking at Kevin like, really? You're like an actor. You're famous. You're a celebrity. You couldn't have sex with anybody else. It had to be my weird best friend, Madison. Like, why, Kevin? Why, brother? What can Kevin really say? Like, what can he really say? All right? Like, it happened, Kate. It happened. So back home, Toby. Toby makes the baby some eggs, and the baby's eating, and the baby starts to choke. And instantly he's trying to figure out what to do. I mean, I love the way they made it seem as if it was the longest 10 seconds of somebody's life as this baby's choking. And he like tried to beat him on the back and it wasn't working. And then he flipped him over and he does like, pushing on his chest, kind of like the Heimlich maneuver, like the baby Heimlich, like trying to get it out. And he finally coughs up, the egg or whatever the baby was choking on, takes the baby down to the hospital to get baby Jack checked out. He's okay. Everything's fine. Toby was really worried, but Toby handled this situation perfectly. It happens, okay? Babies choke on things sometimes, even things as soft as eggs. It was like scrambled eggs or something. And it's just scary, but he was able to handle it on his own. And I think that, I don't even know if he should tell Kate that when they get back home, because then she'll be nervous. But ultimately, what happened could have happened to her as well. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of hope that whenever she does find out, she doesn't flip out and decide to not leave Toby alone with the baby, because he handled it just the way he was supposed to. And that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, babies are still trying to form all of these things that protect them from choking on food. But when they get back from the hospital, he sits down with the baby. He's like, I'm going to show you something really fantastic. So he starts to show him his Star Wars figurines, and he's telling them about it by making noises and letting the baby feel it. And the baby's like, oh, like excited, just like any other baby. He can't really see it, but he can hear his dad's excitement. He can feel the figurine in his hand. He can hear the noises that Toby's making that coincide with the characters. Like, he's definitely having the moment with his son that Kate was hoping that he did. He just needed a chance, and I really do think he needed time alone, because Kate is overbearing, and I think that she doesn't even really give him a chance to create that relationship, because she's always monitoring, always staying on top of everything, and that's great, but you're not the only parent. You know what I'm saying? So she needs to let Toby handle some of the weight. You know what I mean? And she had to be gone in order for that to happen. But it was a really beautiful moment, because we know that it is something that mattered to Toby, that he was able to have a moment where he and his son connected on something. So back in the cabin, the big three talk, and Kevin thinks that Randall is primed for a breakdown. We all agree with that. And then he catches Randall in a lie, because Randall was talking about the break-in and mentioned how he was in LA, and he was supposed to be lying about being in LA. At first he said it was a business conference in DC or something like that. But eventually, Kate is like, all right, we just got to tell him the truth. We have to tell him. Even though Rebecca wanted to keep everything a secret from Kevin because she was worried about his sobriety, but I personally think that he can handle it. I think at this point, he's been sober. He's been, doing the work. I think that he can know about this without, getting back on the booze and the drugs or whatever else Kevin likes to fall into when he can't handle something. But I think he can handle it. So Randall explains that Rebecca has cognitive impairment and it could possibly lead to Alzheimer's. And Kevin is like, I was just with mom. Like, she seemed fine. She was great. And Randall was like, yeah, it's really, really subtle, but I noticed it. And of course, it's a pissing match with Kevin. Whenever there's a comparison of who's the better kid, it's a comparison. And he's like, so what are you trying to say, that I didn't notice it? He's like, I'm not trying to say anything, Kevin. I'm just telling you what it is. We're waiting on some tests to come back, on some MRI results, and then we'll find out from there what we're dealing with, okay? But Kevin is so pissed off that they kept it from him, that they thought he couldn't handle it. He storms out, leaving Randall and Kate to kind of mess around with this puzzle and talk amongst themselves for a minute. And while they're looking at the puzzle of the family and, you know, putting the pieces together, they can't find this one last piece of Jack's eye. And Kate talks about how, you know, Mom really... Kate says that Rebecca tried so hard with her and she never gave her a break. And now that their relationship is finally getting to this really great place, this is happening. And her mom's mental can be gone. And that is so scary and so annoying and so life for things to happen like that. I mean, I kind of felt the same way. Like, my dad was always this, like, you know, parental figure. Right when I felt like me and my dad were starting to change the dynamics of our relationship in a better way, because we, you know, I'm an adult, he's an adult, like things are changing between us. And we were in a good place, and then he's gone. You know what I'm saying? So I totally understood how she was feeling in that moment. Kate tells Randall that he doesn't have to handle everything with Rebecca all on his own. Even though she didn't want them all to know about it, still, they can all handle it together. They can all take part in making sure that Rebecca gets everything that she needs. Because, of course, you know, Randall isn't the only one with money. Randall has the bright idea for them to finally dig up that time capsule. And Kevin is, you know, outside glaring into the nothingness, having this really deep moment, you know, all by himself, you know, the self-loathing of being Kevin. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. He works on my nerves sometimes. But they come out and they dig up the capsule. And Randall had Jack's eye from the puzzle inside his little satchel. And he says it wasn't even his idea. It was actually Kevin's idea. Kevin is like, just use this, and takes the piece from the puzzle that Randall was putting together. He was like, nobody's going to ever want to put this puzzle back together except for you. And when we finally do it, everybody will be so happy to finally get that last piece. It'll be the perfect moment. It's the perfect thing to put in a time capsule. So it was actually Kevin's idea, because Randall stressed out about it and couldn't figure something to do and couldn't figure it out on his own because he was what? Obsessing. Randall says that he's been anxious for so long, and when he tackled that mugger recently, he wanted to like release everything on him. He didn't even have to keep hitting him, but he wanted to. Okay, Beth said maybe it's time for him to go and talk to somebody and get some therapy now that his anxiety is funneling through anger and violence. Kevin says, yeah, maybe you should go and talk to somebody, bruh. Kate's was a MASH. Y'all remember the game, the MASH, MASH games? Hers was that. Kevin's was a picture of him and Sophie, of course. And then they opened Jack and Rebecca's. And Jack's was the picture of the house that he drew. And Rebecca's was actually a voice recording of Jack talking about how he had threw that drawing away, but Rebecca believed in him and in his dreams so much that she pulled it out the trash before he could and put it in his time capsule. And he was like, if y'all don't know nothing else about y'all mom, y'all need to know that she goes hard for the people that she loves. And so everybody, you know, leaves and goes back to their respective lives. And we see Kevin looking at the spot where his dad wanted to build that house. And you just know that he's going to make it happen. And then we see that future scene where everybody's showing up to the cabin. And, you know, Randall's there. And they call Toby. And Toby was in the bed alone. And Rebecca's in the hospital bed. And Beth is coming from her dance school. And, you know, she goes up to Kevin as he comes in the door because everybody had been waiting on him, and she's like, hey, brother-in-law, and she's like, let me help you with the food. And you know, that's all we see, but we see how nice Kevin looks as an older man. I was like, you know, I can see it. I can see Kevin aging very well. But either way, y'all, yeah, that was This Is Us. Definitely a showcasing of how all three siblings have so much in common. Even though technically they're not actually triplets, they might as well be, because everybody obsesses. Kate Randall, Kevin, all have these very strong similarities in their personalities, and the negatives in their personalities especially. They can make things all about them. That is what they do. And all you got to do is ask the people that they've been in relationships with. You know what I'm saying? They're the star of the show. Randall, even though he's always trying to do everything for everybody, it's still exhausting because it's him always having to do the most, you know? And Kate constantly has to suck up so much air in the room, whether she's being pissed or happy. She just has to like take up so much of the focus by making it about her emotions constantly. And Kevin, if he isn't obsessing about an ex or his career or how he looks or his position in their family, like it's just always something. And I don't know why, y'all, but this episode really showed you how exhausting they are. Like, I felt like we've seen it before, and we've seen, like, Miguel and Beth and Toby kind of all link up and look at one another like these damn Pearson people, but they're exhausting. But yeah, y'all, the show was really good. I'm enjoying it. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. I'll see y'all in the next one.